And Mark, let's move on into the last part of our podcast. If you are just checking us out, make sure to check out patreon.com/mostofallpodcast. That is how you help us. We were just talking about our patron, Jake, before we started to record this segment. You can talk to Jake, as well as all our other patrons, as well as us from the MVP crew, on our Discord at the bronze level. As low as $1, you get access to that Discord. Just one of the many rewards you can get for supporting us on Patreon. Check that down below in the link in the description. But let's talk about these Chiefs. This is a team offensively best in the NFL last year.
Yep.
425 yards per game, scoring just over 35 points a game. Defensively, they were kind of bad. They were 31st in yards per game. Well, if you get a lot of yards, you give up a lot of yards. 405 last year. And they were 24th in points per game, 26.3. And if you look at their free agency, D Ford, one of the big ones, they trade him away. But they bring in, via a trade, Frank Clark. So Frank Clark coming in, D Ford coming out. The other signings that they made, just got to go to it really quick. They bring in Brashad Breeland, cornerback, to a one-year deal. They bring in Carlos Hyde to a one-year deal. The Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, to a 3-year deal. They trade with the Browns for Emmanuel Ogbah, get some pass rush on the defensive line. They also sign Alex Okafor, another defensive end, to a 3-year deal. And they bring in linebacker Damian Wilson, who signed a deal with the Chiefs, according to Ian Rappaport. And the thing I want to start with, though, is not the guys that they're gaining, Mark. Mm-hmm. It's the guys they're losing or could potentially lose. And one for sure that they have lost is Kareem Hunt. He will not be a Chief this year. He is a member of the Cleveland Browns after the Chiefs cut him. So that means your backfield is basically Damian Williams, Carlos Hyde, Darnell Williams. They bring in a Darwin Thompson. They still have, I believe, they should have Charmander West, if I'm right.
Nope.
No, he's not here on the depth chart, so he's not there. But then also, this team could be losing Tyreek Hill to just some games, all the games. We don't know necessarily what's going on with that yet. They're still in the process of figuring all that out.
Yeah.
If they, I'll say if they lose Tyreek Hill, what do we expect from this Chiefs team that could lose 2 key weapons from last year's run?
Well, certainly not 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns at that point. I think that's going to take a lot away, and especially with Tyreek Hill too. So many of Patrick Mahomes' touchdowns and his progression too was quick tosses to Tyreek Hill. You take that away, that's a major part of the game that's gone. And that's not saying that he can't do everything else, because he can do everything else. I'm just saying that was such a strong part of this offense. I expect this offense to take quite a big step back, because I look at a guy like Kareem Hunt, and he was such a huge part of the running game, which already wasn't necessarily amazing, but was a really good running game. I don't really have that much faith in guys like Carlos Hyde and Damian Williams. I'm not that excited or that scared of them. They'll be fine, but I think you're going to have a below-average running game now. Your passing game, yes, you have Patrick Mahomes, but Sammy Watkins really isn't that much to be excited about. Demarcus Robinson, yeah, okay. You know, you just don't give me that much without a guy like Tyreek Hill to really be that scared of, other than Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, and I look at this team, and there's 2 big questions that I have on each side. And the first one's the offense of, if they lose a Tyreek Hill, what do we expect? And I said it during the Charger preview. I don't know if I gave my percentage. I'm going to go 70. Like, if they lose Tyreek Hill, 75% chance they lose the division to the Chiefs this year. And I know that Chief fans are going to get mad at me for that, but I just feel like they're losing a lot. And then when it comes to the defense, I look at this defense that was not good last year, and you got to ask the question, because I necessarily am not hot on this. I don't think that he's going to be a guy that comes in and is like a Vic Fangio that you're like, yes, I'm super glad that he's my defensive coordinator. But ex-Giant head coach Steve Spagnuolo comes in, and he's the guy they kind of reward with, hey, it's on you to kind of fix this defense because Andy Reid is more of that offensive head coach.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I'm not convinced that it's necessarily going to be instantly fixed. I think they made some smart decisions. When it comes to guys like Okafor, Frank Clark, and things like that. Like, they made some good decisions. They made some good additions. They went into the draft to get another safety as well. You got the Honey Badger there. You've made some smart decisions. It's just the matter of, okay, now can coaching make it all work?
Yeah.
Can this all start to gel? Because I like Andy Reid a lot as a coach. He's an amazing coach. The offensive coordinator is going to be someone who's going to be looked at for jobs next year, for head coaching jobs. This is a team that I think will kind of take a little bit of that step backwards. But I'm sorry, the only thing I can keep thinking of is Andy Reid being like, hey, you know what? You all say that I forget about my running game. Now I just don't have one. So
no excuse to forget about it if I don't have one.
Exactly.
I mean, but they've got guys that it's like, Carlos Hyde is one that I think of where it's like
very just okay.
As a starter, he wasn't anything special. As a backup, he was, like you said, just okay. Like, they don't have a guy on the roster running back wise that jumps out to me and goes, hey, Ricky, I'm the guy. I'm the guy that's the bell cow. And maybe that's their goal because, like, without Kareem Hunt, it was kind of a hodgepodge of like, hey, these are our three running backs and we're going to try to use each one in a different situation.
Yeah.
Do they do the same thing with Damian Williams, Carlos Hyde, and Darrell Williams?
Well, I think it is going to be a collection. It's going to be running back by committee without a doubt. And I don't think, because of Patrick Mahomes, he's a very athletic quarterback too. He can do a lot. He can move around and get balls out to people too. So that's going to help out. But I don't think it's going to be anything that's spectacular. I don't think it'll necessarily be amazing. And we're talking here like the Kansas City Chiefs aren't a playoff team. They're going to the playoffs next year. They're going to be fine.
The only question of, are they going to go in as AFC West champions or wild card?
Exactly. That's going to be the tough part. Although I should say that none of this conversation matters because Patrick Mahomes is going to get injured.
Why is he going to get injured?
He's on the Madden cover.
Okay, just so people know what you're talking about.
Can't be on the Madden cover. And expect to be healthy.
Dude, it looks like a sick cover, by the way.
It does. So Chad Henne, I hope you guys like seeing him play because he's your quarterback next year.
Could you imagine if Patrick Mahomes went down this year?
Be terrible.
You know who needs to draft him?
Huh?
Dave.
Oh, Dave.
Dave just needs to make sure it happens, right?
That would be terrible.
For those of you who knew, Dave in our fantasy league every single year, somebody gets injured, or no,
not
his
somebody.
Entire team gets injured.
We literally have an award that we've created
the
for
injured reserve.
Injured reserve, which is his team name.
It's
obviously
usually him that wins it, right?
He wins it all the time. The time. One year he did not.
Last year it was LaShawn McCoy was his big one. But
2 years ago he didn't win it, but every other year he wins it. Every single other year, Dave wins it.
And what started it was he had Tom Brady when Tom Brady went down with that knee injury.
What's the kicker who went down week one?
Nate Keating.
Yeah, Nate Keating. He had Nate Keating. He's always got him.
Not even week one. The first kickoff of the season, Dave's kicker tears an ACL.
It's to the point where in our fantasy football group chat,
when
if someone gets hurt,
down, it's like, Dave, does Dave have him?
Is he on Dave's team? Someone let me know if he's on Dave's team. And to the point, too, where Dave, no one even has to ask anymore. Dave will say, hey, he's not on my team.
Or preemptive, he is. Like, hey, don't blame me. He's not on my team,
or,
so
this
you don't
one's
have
my
to
fault.
worry.
Sorry, guys.
What about the schedule? Because like we've said for the other ones, I'll say it again, AFC West, NFC North, AFC South, and the two mixed in for this one, the Baltimore Ravens. So we're going to see Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes going at each other. And then Of course they get the New England Patriots in Foxborough.
Obviously.
What's your thoughts on the schedule?
I mean, you're a good team, but I think you're going to have some rough ones in there. You lose a home game against LA, the charging LA.
Yeah.
You're going to play the Baltimore Ravens, which I'm not that scared of. I think you're going to go on a tear at the beginning. Jacksonville won't be ready week 1. The Colts Colts are Texans. I think that'll be like your first loss of the season. Even if you're losing guys like Tyreek Hill and stuff, I think there's a good chance that's like your first loss of the season. The problem is you've got a really tight, compacted area where you go at Denver, you have Green Bay, Minnesota, at Tennessee. I mean, it's a road game, but that's not terrible. And then you lose your home game against the Chargers before the bye. That could be a really tough stretch right there where, you're playing good teams. And if you guys don't have someone like Tyreek Hill, if the running game isn't as good as it used to, if the wide receivers aren't stepping up the way you hope they will, that could potentially be a really kind of tough stretch right in the middle of the season. Then you have to look at the next part. When you're competing with with the LA Chargers to go at New England, Denver, at home, not terrible, at Chicago, and then play the Chargers. Fortunately, it's at home, but that Chargers game, you guys were both 12-4 last year. That could be the thing that decides who wins the division.
Yeah, I don't like those last 4 games. And even with Denver in there, I mean...
Denver's got a great defense.
Do I expect Denver to win? No. But with a Vic Fangio defense, anything is possible. And we don't know... We don't know if by week 15 that Vic Fangio defense in Denver is like, wow, they are really gelling. The Chiefs should be scared of this defense. We just don't know if that's going to be the case. And I mean, if you I look back to last year, and this was a Chiefs team that kind of sputtered going into the playoffs. And like you look at it, it's similar thing. Bye happens week 12. They got 5 games left. They beat Oakland. They barely beat Baltimore in overtime. They lose to the Chargers, lose to the Seahawks, and then against the Raiders win. Well, this time, pardon me, you got the Chargers, who you already lost to that late in the season. I would say if the Seahawks beat you, this Bears team this year should beat you. I don't think you beat the New England Patriots like you did Baltimore. And your 2 wins against Oakland, one of those could be a loss because you're playing Denver instead of Oakland. So, like, there's, to me, the possibility that off the top of my head, I just think out of the games, 3 wins, or 3 losses, I should say, Patriots, Bears, and Chiefs. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, all right, after that Denver game, we got to win. If we lose one, if not both, we're not going to even be winning the division. This could be a team that maybe, depending on where the other teams are, think about it. If they're 12-4 like they were last year, and they lose 3 more games, they're 9-7. 9-7 is not going to be good enough to make the playoffs. So, like, this is a team in that last part of the schedule is really going to have to be on their A game if they're going to want to win this year.
Very true. Very true. So it's going to be tougher this year than it was last year. That's for sure. And now, of course, the other thing is people got a lot more tape on Patrick Mahomes.
A full year now of him.
It's going to be a little harder. Now people know that whole left hand thing exists.
Yeah.
They're going to say, all right, this guy can throw from either one of these hands. We got to watch him.
Now that playing with him in Madden, they know if he completes so many 30-yard passes, he just gets the bazooka.
Yeah.
He's got the bazooka, the X Factor, Mark. The X Factor. Can I just say, by the way, like, I don't know if you and I have talked about this.
Okay.
That X Factor stuff in Madden is going to be A, janky as shit, B, piss me off to no end.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
Like, the whole thing of, like, Patrick Mahomes can just bomb at 83 yards with the X Factor. Juju Smith, the only way to knock him out of the X Factor is to double team him. Aaron Donald, it's like try blocking him when he's on his X Factor.
It's nice if you've got a good team, but if you're, if your team sucks and you're trying to build them back, you're just going to lose games all the time. But you know what, though?
Like if you're the Arizona Cardinal offensive line.
It's always good to skip a Madden year. This looks like a good year to skip because that X Factor stuff, guarantee it's gone after this year.
I wonder if they'll have a thing. I wonder if it'll be like, remember the quarterback cone?
Yeah, lasted 1 year.
Rex Grossman's was like little tiny sliver. Peyton Manning, I'm gonna cover the entire field. This is the thing of I wonder if they will have it because I never played with the cone. I always turned it off.
You try it once and you're like, this sucks, and you turn it off.
I tried it day one.
Yeah.
And I played it. I remember I was playing as Rex Grossman because I wanted to play as the Bears that year. And I went, this is fucking horrible. And then for shits and giggles, I tried Peyton Manning, and I was like, holy shit, I don't even have to touch it.
Yeah, it's the whole field.
It's the whole field. To where I just shut it off. I said, fuck it. Shut it off. Will it also be like the rewinds? Remember the rewind?
I actually liked the rewind a little bit.
I threw an interreception. Let's rewind that shit back.
I like
and
it
maybe I don't throw to you.
You can just say, "Hey, triple coverage. Screw it. I got a rewind. Let's go for it."
And then it's like, or you just throw it thinking, he's open. Oh, that was a good play. Let's run that shit back. But one thing I want to ask you, and this has nothing to do with the Chiefs. I wanted to tag this on at the end of this preview because we haven't really had a segment about it for the NFL this upcoming year. So I'm going to relate the World Cup in here really quick. So the Women's World Cup that's going on right now.
Okay.
There's a big bashing about it's called VAR, which is Video Assistant Referee. Cool. Basically, it's like, for example, I think it was it Cameroon who was playing? But they had a goal taken away mid-match because the person was an inch offsides. And the video, it's huge delays, huge, we got to get the call right, and then people are upset about it anyways. They're adding goals, taking away goals. I bring this up because I want to relate it to the NFL. Because now coaches will be able to challenge pass interference.
Yeah.
And pass interference will now be reviewable. Good idea, bad idea, and will this be the VAR stuff that we're seeing in the World Cup? Is that going to be what this is to the NFL?
No, this is a great idea.
Be upset about
Fantastic idea. Coaches should be able to challenge literally anything because they're limited. You got 2 challenges. If you get them both right in the first half, you get one more in the second half, and you're done. If you get it wrong, it's gone. You've lost a timeout. It is a great idea. Get the game right. And you know what? If people are going to be a little bit concerned. I forgot what it was. There was some study about another sport that added some replay or something like that, and they found that it didn't actually add a significant difference to the games. And if people are really concerned that it's going to add stuff in, okay, you know what we can do? Same thing that we started doing this past year when there were replays and stuff like that. Play us commercials during that, so we don't need as many commercials. And
just the exact written thing here from NFL.com. According to the final rule, pass interference reviews after the 2-minute warning of each half and during overtime will be initiated by the replay official. The replay official will only stop the game when there is clear and obvious visual evidence that a pass interference penalty may or may not have
Basically,
occurred.
that Saints game, there you go.
Would have been reviewed, and I know that the Saints fans are going, well, great. It doesn't help us now.
Sure doesn't.
But it takes a game like that to get what we got. I don't know. I was watching that World Cup, and it was High Noon, I think, was talking about it. And I had not known what it was because I have not been watching the World Cup games.
Yeah.
I've been kind of just score watching of hey, did the U.S. win? Oh, Rapone said, why would you go to the fucking White House? Oh, that's cool. Which, by the way, fun fact, after she said that, Trump invited them to the White House. just to be a dick and a troll. But I sat there and I wondered, and I'm like, with this pass interference rule, are we going to have people saying the same thing? Because the biggest complaint is that not only is it getting changing calls that we didn't really need changed.
But, I mean, if it was wrong, it's wrong.
But the big one is that it's slowing down the pace of the game. I wonder with this.
This isn't going to slow down the pace.
And I wonder if it's like with a coach's challenge, though. Yeah. I wonder if it will, depending on
coaches already use their challenges. They've already done the study on it, and they already found that it's not going to really significantly change the length of the game.
It's one of those things that I look at where it's
in other sports that this type of thing has happened, it has not changed the length of the game.
Okay.
Football should not be any different.
I'm just thinking that it's one of those things where I wonder if it's like, on paper, it sounds great.
But here's the thing.
In practicality, once it's on the field, will it be different?
It's no different than a coach's challenge. They're just now allowed to challenge a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you watch Red Zone. What do you care?
Oh, no, I know. But, for Sunday Night Football, I'm watching the game. For Monday Night Football. For the playoffs, I'm watching that game. And football games are already long.
It's like 3 hours long,
Like, that's the thing I liked about soccer, where it's like, I know it's like, I'm going into that game, give me an hour and a half. I'll be done.
Sure.
Doesn't matter.
Really, you just need to tune in for about 5 minutes because it's a lot of just back and forth for a little bit, and then it gets good.
It's good action. But this is where you guys come in. You didn't hear us talk about, you didn't come here to hear us talk about soccer. You heard us talk about American football. But Chiefs fans, let us know what you guys think down below. And also, let us know what you guys think about that PI rule, because I agree it's needed and you should be able to review pass interference. I just wonder if it will make games a little longer, especially if it's a pass interference that is a review where, okay, they're really looking to see did he get there before the ball did? And there's these plays where it's like,
but it's got to be, it's got to be absolutely no doubt for a challenge. So if there's doubt, they're not going to call it. They're not going to flip it.
No, but what I'm saying is, so for the.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that I think you're
for the officials in the booth. They're not going to call it down unless, yes, we know for sure.
No. But any challenge, it has to be without a shadow of a doubt to overturn it. So let's say they don't call the pass interference. They need to have absolute 100% certainty that it is pass interference to overturn it. Other way around.
No,
if it is pass interference, they need to have 100% certainty to overturn that. So there's not going to be them sitting around for 10 minutes staring at it. We have never had a challenge last 10 minutes, first of all. But second of all, I know I was exaggerating.
You know what I mean, where it's like we sit there and it feels like forever. Where we're looking at the replay and it's like, it's like all of us on the couch going like 2 seconds. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And then they end up saying something else.
But how many times are the people on the couch wrong?
Yeah.
So can happen 3 times in a game. Absolute most would be 6 times in a game if both coaches got it right 100% of the time, which never happens.
But no matter what, it is making the game longer.
Probably not.
Because you still got to look at the replay.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You look at replays all the time. You have timeouts already. This is already something that's built in the game and can exist.
I bet you there will be at least one time this season where there's one that is too close to call and they take extra time to look at it.
But who cares if it takes an extra 2 minutes? What does that matter to you if it takes 2-3 minutes longer?
What will happen?
Calm down, football fans. You guys are sitting there watching football all Sunday. I know. I'm one of them. You've got nowhere else to be. Just sit down, relax.
Mark,
Americans need to chill.
I can see
and
it
just
right
calm
now.
down and watch the game.
I can see it right now. There's that first close one. Happens a few times in a Sunday. The next day on First Take, the pass interference replay rule is making the game too long.
I'm sure it's going to be a big thing on there. And then Colin Cowherd's going to talk about how Baker Mayfield sucks. It's the same old because they do it for ratings. My point is, we all need to just be more patient and calm in our lives. You're not going anywhere. You're sitting on your damn couch watching the game anyways. Just sit back, relax, and watch.
Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in that comment section. Also, make sure to follow us on Patreon. Make sure to follow us on Twitch and give us a sub on twitch.tv/mostvaluable podcast and rate and review the Onside Kick on Apple Podcast, on iTunes. Also, check out our other NFL previews if you have not already. Want to thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.